So this just came out today, the deportation orders from January to March of this year. As you see, it's April the 12th today. And it's a huge amount of deportations, just to say. And deportation orders, may I say, not even deportations itself. You see now in a second what I'm talking about. But the orders itself for people to deport themselves. And there's such a thing here called voluntary deportation, that you deport yourself. Imagine such a thing. You're not allowed to stay in the country. Can you please leave of your own accord? Imagine that. And I wish we could. I wish people would do it, But some people would take advantage of that because the Gardaí won't check it up to see that they leave. Because we don't know. The Irish state doesn't know when people get these voluntary orders to leave. Do they leave? There's no evidence to suggest do they leave. Some do leave, of course. But a lot would probably take their chances and run off to some other part of Ireland where the guards wouldn't look for them or wouldn't bother to look for them. But yeah, we see today, this is from January to March, and it's a lot of deportations. It's over 1,800 or so. And that's just from this is the beginning of this year. This is not including the rest of the year. Enforced deportations, 59. That's how out of that was enforced. Like, these are the people that were actually put on the plane and told by on Garda, like, forcefully put on the plane by the Gardaí. And that's the way deportation should be. It shouldn't be voluntary. It's very stupid. Now, obviously, some people left of their own accord, which is welcome, and we do appreciate that people do follow, like, do what they're told. But at the end of the day, some people probably did. This number's probably a bit over-exaggerated. Because, let's be fair, some of them we don't know. Again, what's the evidence to suggest these, say, for argument's sake, 100 of them didn't go, and the government are just kind of giving this number out to satisfy people? But what I'm trying to say is we have no really evidence to suggest that they actually left, because the government said it themselves. They have no really evidence, or they can't find out that these people actually leave. But including forced deportations, and voluntary, going by these numbers, only 400, nearly 500, and again that means another 600 are just walking around the state, pretty much. Deportations that were ordered is pretty much, as I say, 562. Like, the forced, like, a lot of them were ignored, pretty much. 44%, pretty much were, executed, I suppose. Not even, that's how many that were sent home, I suppose. Let's put it that way. So that means literally a huge amount, not even 50%, just to say. So, again, this is only from January to March this year. So it just shows you the deportation system in this country is a joke. And these people that are coming in with no passports or no anything, and taking advantage of the country, getting a huge amount of money in grants and in social welfare and free medical cards, bus passes, etc., etc. They know this. They know the country's weak, and they know the country will not deport them or forcefully deport them. They know they can run wings around the country and the system. And it's unfortunate these people do it. 6 years ago, we could trust people to behave and to come in with passports, like to behave themselves first, because no such thing as passports years ago, to behave themselves in the country and stuff like that, and go by the rules of the country. But unfortunately, again, the modern world, we can't trust people, so there's that. But again, this is to do with just the point I made earlier on. In terms of the voluntary returns, does the government have any evidence to suggest these people actually left? Is there any documents to suggest these people got on the plane and never came back? Because they probably, maybe one or two got on the plane and then came back the next day. So we don't know. It was that. We don't know. We couldn't trust the government too on the figures. But obviously, it's only 59 were enforced. This is the thing. Like, what's the whole point of deporting people when we're not forcing people onto the planes? By members of the Garda, because see, the way it goes, the Gardaí bring them onto the plane and go with them to the country. Say, for example, it's Turkey. The Gardaí bring them to Turkey and leave them at the airport, so they can't run away or hide somewhere or whatever. But this is a joke, and I think anybody that reads this is a joke. This is only the beginning of the year, so at the end of the year we could have 4,000 or 5,000, 6,000 maybe deportation orders. This number might only be 100. This number probably be only maybe 500, and then the rest are pretty much, as I say, 562 deportations. Well, not pretty much who ignored people that's still in the state. These people, and a lot of them probably will commit crimes and stuff like that, and pretty much get off with it. But the state is very weak, and again, these people take advantage of it, unfortunately. They take advantage of our kindness and our generosity. And that's what it is. And again, it's not far right, it's not racist, it's the basic thing. I would say the same if it was an Irish person. If an Irish person went over to America, or went to Norway, or went to Sweden, or wherever, or the Netherlands, or went to Australia, and didn't have their documents, and wasn't supposed to be in the country, and had no valid reason to be there, and somebody that broke the law, take for example, in an Irish person in, say, New South Wales and Australia, I would say to the Australian government, send them home. Simple as that, because we don't want Irish people going over to other countries and breaking the laws. As simple as that, it looks bad in our people, in our country. We have a huge heritage of working hard and busting ourselves. And again, that's what we want. That's what we want Irish people to go to other countries too, because they're going to work. They shouldn't get things handed them. They should work their asses off, because that's what their grandfathers did. That's what the generations before them did. The Irish people had to work to get where they are in the world today in America, to get such a good standard. We didn't ask for donations, we didn't ask for money from the US government. We paid through blood and sacrifice in the American Civil War, through the Second World War, the First World War. Irish people bled and died and worked hard on skyscrapers, on railways. Insane, not ever looking for a penny, working for their money. And that's what we want, and that's what Irish people should be. And that's what we want in this country too. We don't want people who are going to abuse the system, who are not going to tell us who they are and why they're here. That's as simple as that. It's the basic thing in life, unfortunately. That's the least we ask them. And if people can achieve that, we have no issue with them. The Irish state has no issue, the Irish people have no issue. If somebody comes here and they have their documents and to go and walk, and they don't cause any trouble, we have no issue. Simple as that. We don't care about you, pretty much. In other words, it's the people that are coming here, and again, like the numbers, and this is just for a few months, 4 months. It's insane for a small country. Again, it's not a huge country of 70 million people. It's only 5 million, or also 5 million people, and it's a huge amount. But again, this deportation system is a joke. Like, just look at it there. It is literally a joke. And such a thing too, it shouldn't be voluntary returns. Anybody that's deported from the state should be forcibly deportated. That's the way it should be. We get rid of this voluntary returns. Maybe we could trust a few people to do it themselves. Maybe if they're good people who they made mistakes, whatever. Maybe you could trust one or two of them to do it themselves. But what I'm trying to say is, the only for deportations to work is the idea you bring them onto the plane. That's the only way to do it. Simple as that. And that's the only way to send the message to these people that we won't tolerate them. Simple as that. We won't tolerate their carry on. And it's just fairness. And simple as that. It's fairness. It's out of fairness and out of respect, of course, for anybody that goes into a country. Take, for example, I'm going to go on holidays again to Finland soon enough. And if the Finnish government, again, when I'm at the airport, they look at my passports and stuff, and they probably might ask me a few questions. I'm not going to say to them it's none of their business, because I'm going into their country. I have no right to tell the Finnish government or the Finnish authorities it's none of your business or whatever, because I'm going into their country. They don't have to let me in. I paid to go on holidays and stuff, but they don't have to let me in. They could tell me to fuck off if they wanted to. It's their country. It's simple as that, and it's their right, because it is their country. But, that's what I would say. And let me know what you think, because I know some people think this is a joke, but it is a joke. It is insane to see. And especially this number, it should be really 100 a week nearly, to be told honestly. And the amount of people that's coming in, we're looking probably at about 800 a week or something, that's 900 a week coming in. There should be 100 a week being sent home pretty much at this stage. Because a lot of them here, again, a lot of them have no passports and just turn up. It's insane. But let me know what you think, because it needs to be discussed. Again, these things are here for a reason. The system exists for some reason. For reasons, because people do not behave, unfortunately. And it's unfortunate, because we would want people to behave and to be respectful and stuff. But again, unfortunately, these people break the laws of our state and do that. And again, the only option is to send them home, and they won't break the law there. But anyway, let me know what you think. Subscribe for more, and bye.